My wife and I were in London on the night before the Trooping of the Colour, and we had friends for dinner, and we went to the restaurant, met them for dinner. In the course of dinner, with our guest, who is the chairman of a very prominent and highly successful and reputable British FSA-controlled financial institution, he asked me if I could help him in getting identification of the validity of people who had brought to him a huge transaction for a corporate reconstruction. And could I help him by validating people? Because he knew that I had connections from the past where I could get onto various intelligence agencies and establish the validity of people. That's how it started.
And what is it that they're offering?
They're representing themselves as a massive supranational accumulation of funds which are not sovereign national foreign funds, but are the proceeds of a massive amount of commercial activity which have accumulated over probably most of 100 years. And they are concerned that they have all this wealth in a world which is beginning to lose its track on its own economic progress and stability, and they want to put their assets to work to help save the world.
So they think that by helping plug the UK debt, they'll boost their own wealth.
They're quite directly saying, no, they're not. They're saying that they will protect the wealth of the world so that they will continue to survive with their wealth in it. But they are saying quite particularly that they want the United Kingdom to take a leading initiative in this because they see us as being the logical point from which they can deploy a lot of their support into the European sector, which they think is in dire need of help and support at this time.
And you believe that this is a genuine offer and not a hoax?
I've been working on this now with them for 21 weeks. They have not put a foot wrong. In 21 weeks they have never contradicted themselves or said anything which would give a lie to anything that they have said. And therefore, from that point of view, I am progressively comfortable with the genuineness of their approach. They have gone out of their way to ask me to introduce them to government officials within the coalition with whom they can talk to open this up. And there has been a natural high level of scepticism, because it's rather like finding after all these years, the good gracious, you find on Christmas Eve that Father Christmas really does exist and he's just popped down your chimney, and it is a bit of a surprise. So the government officials have voiced a lot of scepticism, and the people I'm dealing with from X have been forthcoming with a list of referees who they've quoted, who are amongst the most powerful and the most high-profile people on the whole world stage, and they've invited the British government to pick up a phone to these people to validate their existence. Provided that the British government do so at the highest level of security, they will then talk to people at the highest level of security on the world stage who will validate them. This has so far, I understand, not happened at that level, because the government in this country decided that I must be a maverick old peer who'd lost his marbles and that they couldn't really trust this at all, and therefore they should look to see more rationally if it was feasible. And they came up with two major objections to the proposal which was being put forward and said this means it couldn't be true. And I've looked very carefully at those two objections, and I think that the government has misunderstood completely and has come up to the wrong conclusions, and I've said that in my speech on Monday night.
And what made you speak on Monday publicly?
I have so far not succeeded in getting it proven because the British government officials have not yet taken it up. This was a debate about the impact of the strategic spending review and what it was going to have as an impact on society, and down to levels of deprivation and concern which were being voiced very strongly by the socialist opposition on the benches opposite. And I therefore spoke about it on Monday because it seemed to me that the opposition benches were overreacting, and that probably nothing was going to be quite as bad as they were saying it would be, but it could be a great deal better if we could really get GDP back into growth, which clearly what is being offered by X will have a massive impact on our GDP, in which case we could probably generate a far faster recovery to overcome a lot of the deprivation problems long before they occurred, according to the script that the socialist opposition were pushing to us.
And if this did go ahead, what would it look like? What would it mean for Britain?
It would mean a massive improvement in the job market, because so much of what they're doing is aimed at creating infrastructure which is headcount intensive. For example, the things that they're proposing at the present moment, since Monday they have said to me that if the government will now give an answer to them now as to whether they will support this, and by now I think they mean in the course of the next week, then X will put up and have in our bank by Christmas Day the entire £17 billion we need to build Crossrail now and bring it forward from the 10-year distant date it is, and think how many jobs that will create and the impact that will have on the vitality of London and everything else that will go with it. That creates GDP, which is wealth, and that brings money into the equation. But they're also quite specifically saying, look, you can't afford to hang back on your renewable energy policy. So if you have a preferred policy at this moment to do the underground gasification of coal and the conversion of your power stations to use underground gasification coal, we will pay for that as well. But your spending review has also taken out all the hospitals and the schools that you needed to build, and we'll build those for you as well.
And would this money come with strings attached?
It comes interest-free, and it comes with no requirement to guarantee the value when it is paid back, and it comes with no repayment schedule, so it can be with us for as long as we need it.